Have you ever felt that a woman's behavior around you just doesn't match her words? On the surface, she is polite, friendly, maybe even a bit flirty, but something in you wonders if there is something more, a tension under the surface that you cannot quite name. And at the same time, you are tired of guessing, tired of overthinking every message, every look, every delay in her replies. Because deep down you want clarity. You want to know when a woman truly desires you, not just when she is being nice, bored, or using you as emotional entertainment. That is exactly what we are going to break down here. Because there is one core thing a woman only does when she secretly wants you badly. Around that core, there are several specific behaviors that form a pattern. When you learn to read that pattern, you stop chasing, you stop begging for attention, and you start choosing from a place of strength. Before we dive into the specific behaviors, I want you to understand a fundamental shift in mindset. Most men are obsessed with the question, "Does she like me?" That question makes you weak because it puts all the power in her hands. A stronger question is, what is she investing? In psychology, the principle of investment explains that people value what they put effort, time, and emotional energy into. Women are no exception. When a woman wants you badly, she stops being passive and starts investing. Not always in obvious ways. Not always with big declarations, but with small, consistent actions that cost her something. Time, attention, emotional risk, vulnerability. That is the currency of desire. Words are cheap. Investment is expensive. So your first job as a man is to detach your ego from her words and tune into her level of investment. The core "this" from the title is simple to describe but powerful to understand. She moves toward your world without you having to drag her. She steps into your reality. She makes space for you in her life. She builds bridges in your direction. You are no longer the one orbiting around her. She starts to orbit around you in subtle, repeated ways. That shift is the difference between mild interest and deep desire. When she does this, she is not just reacting to you. She is choosing you, and she will only do that when she secretly wants you badly. So how does this look in practice? First, she initiates contact in emotionally loaded ways. Anyone can answer a message. Anyone can say hi back. That does not mean anything by itself. But when a woman desires you, she starts to create reasons to talk to you. She sends you a meme and says it reminded her of you. She comments on something specific about your life that she remembered. She asks for your opinion on a decision, not because she cannot decide, but because she wants to feel your presence in that moment. The content of her message is often less important than the fact that she chose you as the person to share it with. There is a psychological principle here. People seek emotional resonance with the ones who impact them. When she repeatedly uses you as her emotional mirror for her thoughts, jokes, frustrations, and small victories, she is investing. Especially when she could have shared that same thing with anyone else, and yet chose you. Now, a weak man sees that as a green light to become instantly available 24 hours a day. He replies within seconds. He drops his own life to keep the conversation going. He floods her with attention because he is terrified of losing this little connection. That overreaction kills the polarity. A strong man sees her initiation as a sign. He receives it with calm confidence. He replies, yes, but from his center, not from panic. He does not try to entertain her constantly. He responds with presence, with clarity, and then goes back to his path. His life does not shrink around her messages. This calm reaction actually increases her desire because it shows that he is not starving for female attention. He enjoys it, but he does not need it to breathe. The second clear behavior that appears when she wants you badly is that she starts to rearrange her time for you. Time is one of the most valuable resources anyone has. When a woman feels neutral about you, she will always be too busy, and her schedule will be a wall. When she truly desires you, her schedule becomes flexible. Notice this, it is not about whether she is busy or not. It is about whether she looks for alternatives. If she genuinely cannot meet at the time you suggest, but she proposes another day, another hour, another way to connect, that is investment. That is desire. When she says, I cannot today, but what about Thursday? She is telling you, I want you in my week. She could just say no. She could just ignore the invitation. Instead, she collaborates to make it happen. Again, your reaction matters. A low-value man hears any resistance and goes into begging mode, trying to convince her, trying to argue, trying to guilt her into meeting. That shows insecurity and dependence. A high-value man stays relaxed. If she suggests an alternative, he evaluates it and chooses, still from his standards, not from fear. If she never suggests alternatives and always has excuses, he does not push harder. He simply takes the information for what it is, a lack of real desire. This is where discipline comes in. You have to be willing to step away from low-investment women. Otherwise, you will never have the space and mental clarity to let high-investment women enter your life. The third sign appears when you start to notice changes in how she presents herself to you. When a woman secretly wants you badly, she becomes more intentional about how she looks and feels around you. This is not just about makeup or clothes. It is about the entire sensory experience she creates. Her scent, her body language, the way she arranges her hair, even the way she laughs. There is research showing that people, both men and women, increase their grooming and attention to appearance when they are around someone they find attractive. It is a way of signaling value and readiness. When she pays more attention to how she shows up around you than she does around others, that is not random. What makes this powerful is that she will rarely admit it. She will say, "I just like dressing well," or "I felt like doing my hair today." But you will feel the difference, especially if you have seen her in more casual states before. Again, you do not need to comment on every detail or worship her appearance. In fact, over-validating her looks can backfire because it puts her in the position of the prize and you in the position of the applicant. Instead, you stay grounded. You enjoy the effort. You might give her a simple, honest compliment, and then you bring the focus back to the connection, to the energy between you, not just to how she looks. Now we move into deeper territory, vulnerability. One of the strongest indicators that a woman's desire has gone beyond the superficial is that she starts to show you parts of her that are not perfect. When she wants you badly, she wants you to see the real person behind the image. She will only do this with a man she feels a special pull towards. This might look like sharing insecurities, fears, things from her past that she is not proud of, doubts about herself, personal conflicts. From a psychological perspective, self-disclosure is a powerful bonding mechanism. People reveal more of themselves to those they want to be seen by. When she chooses you as the person to reveal her imperfections to, she is giving you a form of trust and emotional access that not every man receives. How you respond in those moments determines whether her desire grows or closes. If you judge her, minimize her feelings, or turn her vulnerability into a weapon in future arguments, she will shut down and protect herself. If you use her vulnerability to manipulate her, pretend to be her savior, or build dependency, you are acting from weakness, not strength. A grounded man listens, stays present, and does not lose respect for her because of her imperfections. At the same time, he does not lose respect for himself. He does not allow unhealthy patterns or drama to take over. This balance between empathy and boundaries is extremely attractive to a woman who desires you because it signals emotional maturity. Closely linked to vulnerability is a behavior that confuses almost every man: testing. Women test the men they are truly attracted to. This is not a conscious evil strategy. It is an ancient instinct. A test is simply a way for her to find out if your words match your core, if you actually are the man you appear to be. When she is indifferent, she does not bother to test you. She is not invested enough. When she secretly wants you badly, her fear of choosing the wrong man awakes as well. Her desire pulls her towards you, but her self-protection pushes her to make sure you are solid. So she throws little challenges at you. A teasing comment, a sudden change of plans, a small contradiction in what she says, a request that goes against your time or boundaries. She wants to see your reaction. Here is where many men fail and kill attraction without realizing it. They either become defensive and angry, turning every test into a fight, or they become submissive and say yes to everything, abandoning their own standards just to keep her happy. Both reactions tell her the same thing. This man is not stable. He is either controlled by his anger or controlled by his fear of losing me. A man with a strong core does something different. He notices the test, stays calm, and responds from authenticity. If something goes against his values or his boundaries, he says no without drama. If she is just throwing playful friction, he plays along without taking it personally. If she is being disrespectful, he removes himself from the situation. He does not explain himself excessively. He does not beg. He does not lecture. His actions communicate that his center is not negotiable. That stability is deeply reassuring and arousing for a woman who desires you, because it tells her she can relax into her feminine energy around you. She does not have to be the stable one all the time. Another powerful signal arises when she starts to integrate you into her inner and outer world. Inner world means thoughts, preferences, dreams, values. Outer world means friends, places, routines, and plans. A woman who only sees you as temporary fun will often keep you separated from her real life. You are a distraction, not a part of her story. A woman who wants you badly will begin to include you. She will talk to you about what truly matters to her. Her aspirations, her frustrations with her environment, her views on relationships, family, purpose. She will want to know what you think, not just about her, but about life. She will also start to connect you with her external world. She mentions you to friends. She wants to show you a place that is important to her. She invites you into small rituals she enjoys. When someone imagines you as part of their life, they begin to place you symbolically in their spaces and then physically. If you are alert, you will notice this in her language. She starts to use we in small ways. She says things like, "One day we should go there," or "I can imagine you doing this with me." These are not empty phrases. They are glimpses into her internal narrative, where your presence is now a character, not just a guest appearance. This is the mind projecting a future. Desire at this level is not only about chemistry in the present, it is about imagining continuity. A man who respects himself, listens to these signals, and asks himself if he truly wants to be part of that world. Attraction is not enough. Compatibility matters. Values matter. Life direction matters. Do not let your ego be flattered by the fact that she wants you, and forget to ask yourself if you also genuinely choose her. There is another dimension of desire that many men misinterpret: subtle jealousy. When a woman wants you badly, she does not like the idea of being easily replaced in your life. That does not mean she will always show obvious jealousy. Sometimes it is very quiet. She becomes more curious when other women are mentioned. She pays more attention to your social media activity. Her energy shifts slightly when she senses that your attention is going elsewhere. She might ask casual questions about who you were with, how your night was, or who a certain woman is to you. Do not use this to play immature games. Do not create jealousy just to prove that she cares. But notice that if she truly does not care at all, there is no jealousy to awaken. When desire is real, the possibility of losing your presence creates tension. How you handle this is another display of your masculine frame. You do not lie. You do not overshare details to provoke her, and you do not allow yourself to be interrogated as if you were guilty of something. You simply answer with honesty and calm. If you are dating around, you say it with clarity. If you are focusing on one connection, you also say that. The key is that you never use another woman as a tool to control her emotions. That is a sign of weakness. A strong man does not need manipulation. His life, his growth, and his presence are already naturally attractive. Women feel that difference. Now let's connect all of this back to the central point. She will only do all of this when she secretly wants you badly. Initiating contact with emotional content, rearranging her time to see you, showing up more intentionally in her appearance, revealing vulnerability, testing your strength, integrating you into her world, showing subtle jealousy, imagining a future with you. None of these actions isolated is a guarantee. But when they appear together, consistently, across time, you are not dealing with random interest. You are dealing with real desire. And the most important part is that you did not have to force it. You did not beg. You did not chase. You did not sacrifice your dignity for crumbs. Her behavior moved toward your world. This brings us to a hard truth that every man needs to accept if he wants to win in the long run. You cannot manufacture genuine desire in a woman who does not feel it. You can make yourself more attractive. You can become more confident. You can improve your communication, but you cannot logic or convince someone into wanting you deeply. Desire is emotional, not logical. Many men waste months or years trying to transform lukewarm interest into passion. They send more messages, give more gifts, offer more favors, become more available. They think that if they just give a little more, she will finally see their value. What actually happens is that she learns she can receive your energy without giving hers. She learns that you are willing to invest in her even when she is not investing in you. That kills her respect and, with it, her attraction. On the other hand, when you adopt a mindset based on value and standards, your behavior changes. You start to filter. You observe her level of investment without anger, just with clarity. If she does not initiate, if she never rearranges her time, if she never opens up, if she never integrates you, if she never shows even the smallest sign of emotional risk, you stop feeding the connection. You do not punish her, you do not insult her, you do not complain. You simply accept reality and redirect your time and energy into your own growth and into women who do show those signs. This is not about playing hard to get. It is about refusing to play the game of self-betrayal. You cannot be the man that a woman secretly wants badly if you are constantly acting like the man who accepts almost nothing. Now you might be thinking, what do I actually do when I see these signs? How do I respond without ruining it? The first step is to stay grounded. Remember that her desire for you does not make you more or less valuable as a man. It simply reveals that what you already are resonates with her. Do not let your ego inflate. Do not become arrogant or lazy. Many men lose women who desired them intensely because they stopped doing the work that made them attractive in the first place. They stopped training. They stopped focusing on their goals. They stopped being disciplined. They replaced purpose with comfort. Desire dies fast in that environment. So you continue to cultivate your inner and outer life, your body, your finances, your mindset, your mission. You remain a man in motion. When she feels that you have a direction, that you are not static, her desire finds something stable to anchor to. At the same time, you allow the connection to grow. You escalate the intimacy at a pace that feels natural. You increase the depth of your conversations. You share your own vulnerabilities selectively. You set clear boundaries about what you accept and what you do not accept. You allow affection, you enjoy chemistry, but you do not lose your sense of self. There is a part of male strength that is often misunderstood: emotional leadership. Emotional leadership does not mean suppressing your feelings or acting like a robot. It means deciding what kind of emotional climate you are willing to live in and taking responsibility for your reactions. When she is emotional, you do not mirror her chaos. You do not escalate every small issue. You hold space. You breathe. You respond instead of reacting. You are willing to walk away from disrespect rather than try to win a fight. A woman who secretly wants you badly feels safe and turned on when you handle emotional storms with calm. Her tests become less intense because she sees that you are not easily destabilized. And finally, I want you to internalize this. You are not supposed to be chasing uncertainty forever. You are not supposed to live in constant anxiety about whether she likes you today or not. When you understand the behaviors we have explored, you gain a quiet confidence. You stop needing constant reassurance because you can see with your own eyes what she is doing. You can see if she is moving in your direction or not. You can see if she is daring to invest or if she is just absorbing your attention. That clarity is power. From today forward, every time you interact with a woman, ask yourself a simple question. Is she stepping into my world, even a little, or am I the only one stepping into hers? If the movement is only one way, you already know where that road ends. Frustration, confusion, loss of self-respect. If you see her doing the things we talked about, if you see that pattern of investment, that curve of desire, then you do not need to ask, does she like me? You already know that she does. The real question becomes, do you choose her? Does this connection align with the man you are becoming? Because in the end, real masculine power is not about being chosen by as many women as possible. It is about becoming so deeply grounded in who you are, so committed to your growth, that the women who secretly want you badly are drawn to you naturally, and you have the discipline to say yes only where there is mutual desire, mutual respect, and mutual investment. When you live from that place, you are no longer a beggar in love. You are a king choosing who is allowed to share his kingdom. And she will only do all of this, only move so strongly into your world when you already live like that king inside yourself.